Somewhere in the bustling city of Seoul, Jin Woo is returning home after yet another day of working his job at the convenience store. Having finished up his shift, he makes his way back into the city center. Around him, it's just another average day for the general public. But for someone like Jin Woo, who has been a hunter for the past 2 years, this too is just another normal day of work. He's got a monster to slay tonight, and even though the city looks calm, there's always something lurking around the corner ready to pounce on unsuspecting humans. In our world today, it has been about 10 years since gigantic portals known as gates began appearing all over the world out of nowhere. These gates led to bizarre and dangerous places known as dungeons, which were inhabited by all sorts of fantastical monsters and creatures. In response to these sudden developments, humanity discovered a way to awaken special people called hunters. These individuals possessed incredible powers that could be used to defeat the monsters emerging from the gates. Depending on their abilities and strength, they were ranked in a league from S to E. Of course, S being the highest rank, and E being the lowest. But some hunters like Jin Woo here don't really know what rank they are, but we'll get to that later. Our story begins with an opening montage of sorts, showing us the current state of the world now that hunters have become an integral part of society. This continues until we are shown Jin Woo walking down the empty streets of Seoul at night. Since he works at a convenience store, he often finds himself working late into the night, when most people are safely tucked away into their warm beds at home. But for him, this means that he often gets to hunt without any interference from other people. It's not easy being a hunter, especially one that operates alone. You can imagine how much pressure he must feel knowing that if he fails, innocent lives will be lost. As he walks, the narration explains the basics of being a hunter, including how every dungeon is different and how every gate leads to a new and unique place filled with its own unique set of monsters. It also reveals that the larger the monster, the more points a hunter will earn upon defeating it. It also explains the concept of parties, which are groups of hunters who team up to take on particularly dangerous quests. Even though he's only a beginner hunter, Jin Woo doesn't operate with a party and instead hunts solo. We soon come to learn why. Jin Woo reaches his destination, an abandoned factory that he is currently renting for cheap. Despite its rundown appearance, it's actually a rather strategic location since it's located in an isolated industrial zone, surrounded by large warehouses and vacant lots. This makes it an ideal spot for hunting monsters without drawing any attention from the outside world. However, it also means that he has no neighbors, which is why he spends so much time here. At least it's a nice place to relax when not in use. So he cleans himself up a bit before getting to work, checking his equipment, and readying himself for the hunt. Since he's operating solo, he doesn't have anyone to hold him back, meaning that he can choose whatever quest he wants to tackle. This particular hunt was actually given to him by the Hunter Association, which is an organization that specializes in tracking down and cataloging monsters. They often send low-level hunters like Jin Woo into dungeons to retrieve data on the types of monsters that inhabit them. In this case, the association is eager to learn more about the origins of the slime monsters that have recently emerged in Korea. These slimes are small, shapeless blobs of protoplasm that move around slowly and leave behind a slimy residue wherever they go. While not dangerous on their own, they are a huge nuisance and can cause a lot of damage if left unchecked. So the Hunter Association is hoping that Jin Woo can help them learn more about these creatures, so they can develop better strategies for dealing with them in the future. Of course, Jin Woo isn't doing this out of the kindness of his heart. Instead, he's motivated by the promise of money, which is one of the main benefits of being a hunter. In addition to the monetary reward, he has also promised a bonus for every monster he manages to capture alive. This is because the Hunter Association believes that studying these creatures while they are still alive will be extremely valuable. With all the preparations complete, Jin Woo steps through the gate and disappears from sight. What awaits him on the other side is anyone's guess, but one thing is for certain: he won't be disappointed. On the other side of the gate, we find ourselves in a dark and dank underground labyrinth. The air is thick with the smell of decay, and the only light comes from the faint glow of the mushrooms that grow out of the walls. As Jin Woo moves deeper into the labyrinth, the ground begins to shake, and a guttural roar echoes through the tunnels. Suddenly, a massive creature emerges from the shadows. It's a giant worm-like monster with a gaping maw, filled with sharp teeth. Its eyes glow red in the darkness, and it seems to be enraged. This is the source of the commotion earlier, and it's definitely not a friendly creature. As the monster lunges towards Jin Woo, he quickly dodges out of the way. He pulls out his weapon and gets into a fighting stance. The battle is on, using his superhuman speed and agility. Jin Woo manages to dodge the creature's attacks, while simultaneously trying to land a hit of his own. However, the monster is proving to be incredibly durable and shakes off Jin Woo. This attacks as if they were nothing more than pesky insects. Just when it seems like Jin Woo might be overwhelmed, he remembers what he's fighting for. He's not just fighting for himself here. He's also protecting everyone else who lives in this world. With renewed determination, he unleashes a powerful attack that finally manages to land a critical hit on the monster. The creature roars in pain and collapses to the ground, defeated. As Jin Woo approaches the creature to deliver the final blow, he notices something strange. The monster's body is strangely translucent and seems to be emitting a faint glow. Intrigued, he reaches out and touches the creature's body and is immediately enveloped in a bright light. When the light fades, Jin Woo finds himself transported to a completely different location. Gone is the underground labyrinth, and in its place is a vast open field surrounded by lush green trees. In the distance, he can see a majestic castle, its spires reaching towards the sky. Suddenly, a beautiful woman appears before him. She has long flowing hair and wears a dress that seems to be made of starlight. She introduces herself as the guardian of the forest and explains that she has been watching Jin Woo for some time now. She sensed a purity of heart in him that set him apart from other hunters, and so she has chosen him to receive a blessing. The blessing is a magical amulet that will grant him increased power and protect him from harm. Jin Woo accepts the amulet gratefully and prepares to return to his world. Before he leaves, the guardian warns him of a great evil that is stirring in the shadows, an evil that threatens to consume everything in its path. She tells Jin Woo that he is the only one who can stop this evil, but that he will need the help of others to do it. With that, she disappears and Jin Woo is sent back to his world with the amulet in his possession. Now, if you're wondering what happened to that monster Jin Woo killed, well, it's gone. Vanished into thin air. Apparently that's just what happens sometimes. He could have earned some serious points there, but oh well, he'll have to settle for the smaller slimes instead. Still, thanks to the amulet, those slimes should be no problem. After disposing of the slimes and collecting the bounty, Jin Woo makes his way back home. He knows that he can stay out hunting forever, and so he takes the opportunity to rest up before heading out again. Little does he know that his next hunt will be unlike any he has ever faced before. So that's the first episode. Not the best start, but it's honestly not terrible either. I mean, sure, the animation isn't anything to write home about, but the story is actually pretty engaging. Plus, there's plenty of action to keep things moving at a good pace. All in all, not a bad start. I'm definitely interested in seeing where the story goes next. And hey, the visuals aren't so bad either. Character designs are pretty cool, and the action sequences are well choreographed. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty satisfied with what I saw. It's definitely worth a watch if you're in the mood for an action-packed adventure.